Good evening once again. Welcome back to Al Burns Field here at Veterans Park in Great Bend, Kansas. Game number 2 set to come your way between the Batcats and your Larks. Larks got off to a rough start in game 1. Were never able to bounce back, and they fell 9-4 in the first game. Dylan Schneider will be the game 2 starter for your Larks. Larks are the visitors again on the scoreboard and will hit first here to begin the game. Jack Wagner on the mound for the Batcats here in game number 2. He is from University of the Ozarks, a freshman right-hander. Leading off for the Larks tonight in game number 2, the center fielder, number 4, Keone Givens. So the Larks will look to get off to a better start here in game number 2 and salvage a split here in the doubleheader. Givens is in. Wagner is ready, and here comes the first pitch of the night at 7:26 for game number 2. That one is inside, and it is ball number 1. 89 degrees here in Great Bend for the start of game number 2. Here comes the pitch to Givens. Foul ball out of play back behind the press box, and it is 1-1. Comes the 1-1 to Givens. He lays down a bunt. It is a fairly good one, fielded by the first baseman, Pomeroy, not in time. And Givens leads off the game with a bunt single. So Keone, using that speed to his advantage, lays down another good bunt and beats it out once again. And the leadoff man here in game number 2 is on base. Coming to the plate now for the Larks, the left fielder, number 26, Clayton Harp. Steps in on the left side. The first pitch from Wagner is over the outside corner for strike number 1. Clayton was 1 for 4 in game 1 with a double in the 6th inning of that one. Also scored a run. Here comes the 0-1. Popped up in the infield. The catcher, Fontenot, and the first baseman, Romero, over. Romero makes the call and the catch. And there's one gone here in the first. Coming to the plate now for the Larks, the right fielder, number 15, Clayton Raspberry. Clayton had game 1 off tonight, did not play. He makes his first appearance of the evening. Here comes the pitch from Wagner, swung on and missed, and it is 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 from Wagner. There goes Givens. It's a pitch out. They were ready. They still cannot get Givens. As the ball goes into center field, Givens will get up and run to third. So a stolen base for Keone Givens on a pitch out, and then advanced to third when the ball got underneath the glove of Bacher and rolled into center field. So it's a 1-1 count to Clayton Raspberry, and Keone Givens stands on third base. Here comes the 1-1 to Raspberry, up and away, and there are 2 balls and a strike. Here comes the 2-1 to Raspberry, fouled off over the backstop. And we are even at 2 balls and a strike. That one sounded like it took out a car in the parking lot. A big hail dent in someone's car out there. Here comes the 2-2 from Jack Wagner. Curveball stays up and away, and Raspberry has worked the count full. So the Larks are ready off to a better start here in the top of the first than they got off to in game number 1. Here comes the payoff pitch to Raspberry. Swings through that one. And there are 2 down here in the first. Coming to the plate now, the designated hitter, number 24, Colin Simpson. So Simpson digs in on the left side. He was 0 for 2 or 0 for 1 in the first game with a walk before he was lifted for the pinch hitter Boston. He looks to drive in the first run of the game for the Larks. Here comes the first pitch. Swung on and missed. And it is 0-1. Dodge City in the game 1 of the doubleheader in Liberal leads the BJs 2-1 in the 4th inning. So another close contest out west. Here comes the 0-1 to Simpson. Curveball hangs up and stays away. And we are even at a ball and a strike. Here comes the 1-1. Simpson pops it up to the left-hand side. That one will find its way out of play. And there is a ball and 2 strikes on the Larks DH. Here comes the 1-2 from Wagner. Drilled into right field. Back goes Wilkerson to the warning track. He makes the play. And the side is retired. Larks no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base after a half inning in game number 2. Larks nothing. Great Bend coming to bat. And we are back here in Great Bend in game number 2, bottom of the first. Dylan Schneider on the mound for the Larks, making his second start of the summer. Threw very well the other night in Derby. Took a tough luck loss when the bullpen came in and gave up the run that he had walked before exiting. So Dylan, coming off a good start in Derby, will make the start tonight. Mateo Zuniga leading off the first inning for the Batcats will line the first pitch foul over to the right, and it is 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 from Schneider to Zuniga. Strike number 2 on the outside corner. The 0-2 blooped into left field. Harp is in, will settle under it and make the play, and there is 1 gone here in the bottom of the first. Stepping to the plate, the second baseman, number 7, Peyton Barnes. The lineup for the Batcats here in game number 2 is very similar to what it was last night. Brooks Asher and Brennan Fontenot are switching the DH and catching duties, and Pomeroy and Bacher switching at short and third. Otherwise, the lineup is, I believe, exactly the same as it was in last night's game number 1. Here comes the first pitch from Schneider. Swung on and missed in the dirt. And it's 0-1 to Barnes. Series is even at a game apiece here as we begin game number 3. Here comes the 0-1. Foul tip back to the screen, and it is quickly 0-2 on Peyton Barnes. So Dylan Schneider out of the gate doing a good job of getting the ball in the zone and working ahead of hitters here in game number 2. Schneider, a sophomore right-hander out of the University of Texas at Arlington. Hometown is Cleburne, Texas. Here comes the 0-2. Just outside, and there's a ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2 from Dylan. Slider is fouled off back to the screen, and we will do it again at 1-2. Barnes is back in. Schneider works from the stretch, gets his sign from Gangwish, the catcher. Here comes the 1-2. That slider stays up. And there are 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here comes the 2-2. Popped up in the infield. Remy on his way out into shallow right field. Calls off the outfielders. Makes the play. Then there are 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the first. Corrigan Bartlett is the hitter now for the Batcats. Let's run through the defense real quick for the Larks. Jacob Boston plays third here in game number 2. Trey Ochoa remains at short. Max Remy takes over the duties at second base, and Jace Selzer is at first. In the outfield, Clayton Harp remains in left. Keone Givens remains in center, and Clayton Raspberry takes over the right field duties for Trevor Boone. The first pitch misses for ball number 1 to Bartlett. Mikey Gangwish behind the dish tonight, catching for Dylan Schneider. Here comes the 1-0. That one catches the outside corner of the plate, and it is 1-1. So the umpire, unlike the other night in Derby for Dylan, he is giving the outside corner. Dylan struggled to get anything from the home plate umpire the other night in Derby. That is strike number 2 as he pulls the string on a slider and drops it into the zone, and it is 1-2. He is set. Here comes the 1-2 on Bartlett. Swing and a miss, and Bartlett is down on strikes. A very good bottom of the first inning for Schneider and the Larks. For the Batcats, no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. We are through 1 complete inning here in game number 2. We're knotted up at 0. And we're back here in Great Bend, top of the second inning. Larks send 5, 6, and 7 to the plate. Leading off, the catcher, number 18, Mikey Gangwish. Jack Wagner back to the mound for the Batcats. First pitch of the inning. Fastball that misses outside. And it is 1-0. Comes the 1-0 from Wagner. That one is high, and it is 2-0 on Gangwish. Here to begin the second. See if the Larks can get back to scoring a few early and get Schneider a lead to work with here tonight's game as Gangwish pops that one up into center field. Zuniga is up into left center, makes the catch, and there's one down here in the top of the second. Coming to the plate now for the Larks, the third baseman, number 16, Jacob Boston. Boston having a rough year here for the Larks, but everybody in Hayes knows the caliber of player that he is and hopes that and expects him to break out of his slump here. Before the NBC was the Lone Star Conference Player of the Year out at Angelo State and was very good for the Larks last year, was an intricate part of their second place finish in the NBC. So keep getting Jacob playing time, and hopefully he's able to bust out of the slump that he is in as the count moves to 1-1. There comes the pitch from Wagner. That one is high, and there are 2 balls and a strike. Wagner out of the windup. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Boston. Swung through a fastball, and it is 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 to Jacob. Outside with the breaking ball, and Boston has worked the count full here with 1 out in the second. Here comes the payoff pitch. That one is high, and Boston works a 1-out walk, and he will make his way down to first base. Coming to the plate now for the Larks, the second baseman, number 5, Max Remy. Remy did not play as well in Game 1, so he is making his first appearance of the evening here against Jack Wagner. Steps in on the right side. Wagner gets his sign from Fontenot. Here comes the first pitch. Pop fly to the right side. That will drop into foul territory, and it is 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Max Remy. Ground ball to the second baseman, Barnes. He will field and throw to first base to retire Max, and there are 2 away in the second as Jacob Boston advances to second base on the fielder's choice. Coming to the plate now for the Larks, the first baseman, number 9, Jace Selzer. Boston leads from second. Jace was 1 for 2 in the first game with a walk and a double. So let's see if Jace can bring in Boston. Here comes the first pitch. Fouled back and out of play. And there's another car falling victim to the foul ball here in the early goings of game number 2. Another large hail dent for somebody out there in the parking lot. 0-1. To Selzer against Wagner. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball soft to the third baseman. Pomeroy steps, throws in time, and that'll do it in the second. Larks, no runs, no hits, no Great Bend errors, and 1 man left on base after an inning and a half. Here in game number 2 from Great Bend, we're scoreless. And we're back here in Great Bend, ready for the bottom of the second. Dylan Schneider back to the mound. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Batcats. Leading off, the first baseman, number 21, Hunter Romero. Romero was 0 for 4 in game number 1 with a pair of strikeouts. Here comes the first pitch of the inning from Schneider. Swung on and missed. The slider breaks away from Romero, and it is 0-1. Here comes the 0-1. Fastball outside corner, and it is quickly 0-2 on Hunter Romero. Here comes the 0-2 from Schneider. Slider blooped over Ochoa into left field. And that's a leadoff single for Hunter Romero on a broken bat single. Right off the end of the bat, it definitely sounded like it cracked the bat, and he just got enough on it to bloop it over Ochoa at short. And the leadoff man for the Batcats is aboard here in the second. Coming to the plate for Great Bend, the right fielder, number 28, Jordan Wilkerson. Wilkerson did not play in game number 1, so his first appearance of the evening as Schneider works from the stretch. Here comes the first pitch. Strike number 1, catches the top part of the zone. Here comes the 0-1 from Dylan. Swing and a miss for strike number 2, and Schneider looks very good here so far in the early going in game number 2, as he is locating his fastball and slider very well. He is set. Here comes the 0-2. Swing, and it's foul tipped into the glove of Gangwish, and that is a strikeout. And there's one away here in the bottom of the second. Coming to the plate now for the Batcats, the catcher, number 11, Brennan Fontenot. Fontenot was 1 for 2 with a single and a walk in game number 1 as the DH. He digs in on the left side against Schneider. Romero leads from first. Here comes the first pitch. Ground ball foul over third base coach Roger Ward, and it is 0-1. Schneider is set. Here comes the 0-1 to Fontenot. Fastball stays away, and we're even at a ball and a strike. The 1-1 to Fontenot. Fastball just misses away. And there are 2 balls and a strike here with 1 out in the second. Here comes the pitch from Dylan Schneider. There goes the runner. Ground ball to Ochoa at short. He fields, fires in time. And there are 2 down here in the second as Romero advances to second base. Brooks Asher will be the batter now for the Batcats. As Romero leads from second base, there are 2 down here in the second inning. First pitch is in there for strike number 1. Schneider gets his sign from Gangwish. His set gives Romero a look at second base and delivers the 0-1. Slider swung on and missed, and it is quickly 0-2 So Dylan going to his slider early and often, and he is controlling it very well, putting it exactly where he wants to. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. And the Batcats are done in the second inning. No runs on one hit, no errors, and they leave one man aboard. We are through 2 innings here in game number 2, and we are still tied at 0. And we're back here, top of the third. Jack Wagner back to the mound for the Batcats, as the first pitch of the inning is a strike to Trey Ochoa, who will lead it off for the Larks. Ground ball to the second baseman, Barnes. He fields, throws in time, and there's one away here in the bottom of the second. That will bring us to the top of the Larks batting order. Coming to the plate, the center fielder, number 4, Keone Givens. Givens 1 for 1. He bunted for a hit back in the first, also stole a base. He was stranded at third. Here comes the first pitch from Wagner. He lays down a bunt again. That one is down the line, but it will roll foul. And it is 0-1, so why change it up if you are successful? Givens 2 base hits this evening on bunts, so he was looking to lay it down once again and use his speed. That one just rolls foul. Here comes the 0-1 to Keone. That one is high, and it is 1-1. The 1-1 from Wagner. Keone swings through a fastball that was well outside, and there's a ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2. Lined over the second baseman. Barnes into right center field, and that is a 1-out base hit for Keone Givens, and he is 2 for 2 so far here in game number 2. Coming to the plate now for the Larks, the left fielder, number 26, Clayton Harp. So the Batcats were ready for Givens to steal in the first inning. They pitched out, but they were still not able to get Givens. We will see if he is in motion here this time, as Harp pops up the first pitch into shallow left field. Bartlett is in, makes the play, and there are 2 away in the third. Coming to the plate now for the Larks, the right fielder, number 15, Clayton Raspberry. Clayton is 0 for 1. Struck out in the first inning. Givens leads from first, 2 down. Here comes the first pitch from Wagner. There goes Givens. The throw, not in time, and Givens steals second for the second time here in game number 2. So Keone, a good game, having a good game here already in the early goings of game number 2. So Raspberry now will bat here with a runner in scoring position, 1-0 count. Here it comes from Wagner. Catches the outside corner, and it's 1-1. Raspberry ready for the 1-1 from Jack Wagner. Here it comes. Givens leads from second. That off speed stays away. And there are 2 balls and a strike. Here comes the 2-1 to Clayton. That one looked outside, but Wagner gets the call from the home plate umpire, and it is 2-2. One looked quite a ways outside, but apparently not. So 2-2 the count to Raspberry. Here comes the pitch from Wagner. Soft grounder to the third baseman. He fields, fires in time. And the Larks strand another runner in scoring position. No runs, a hit. No errors, and 1 man left on base after 2.5 innings. Still 0-0. And we are back here in Great Bend, ready for the bottom of the third. Dylan Schneider back to the mound for the Larks. 8, 9, and 1 are due up for the Batcats here this inning. Leading off, the third baseman, number 3, Dawson Pomeroy. Here comes the first pitch of the inning from Schneider. Catches the outside corner, and it's 0-1, so I'll have to give it to the home plate umpire. He is at least being consistent on that outer edge. From up here in the booth, it looks way outside, but both pitchers have gotten the calls on the outside, as that one is just a little bit too far outside, and it's 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 from Schneider, swung on and missed. And it's 1-2. Schneider is set. Here comes the 1-2 to Pomeroy. Line drive right at Boston, who makes the play. And there is one away here in the third. Coming to the plate now for the Batcats, the shortstop, number 23, Brandon Bacher. So Dylan Schneider not messing around here in game number 2. Here comes the first pitch to Bacher. Up the middle, stabbed by Schneider. Runs it over and makes the toss to Selzer, and there are 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd. Another nice play by Schneider to reach across his body and stab that one out of the air. And Bacher is retired. That will bring up the top of the batting order for the Batcats. The center fielder, Mateo Zunica, makes his way to the plate. Here comes the first delivery from Schneider. Bunt off the plate and foul, and it is 0-1. So again, Schneider is ahead. Pumping strikes, his fastball and slider are working, and he is getting ahead of hitters, and he is retiring them. So very efficient here through the first 2 2/3. Is Dylan. 0-1 the count to Zunica. Schneider gets his sign from Gangwish. Here comes the pitch. Just up and away, and it's 1-1. The 1-1 is a fastball, misses away, and there are 2 balls and a strike to Mateo Zunica. Zunica flied to Harp in left field. His first plate appearance here in game number 2. Here comes the 2-1. Swing and a miss on the inside slider, and it is 2-2. Schneider is ready. Here comes the pitch. Up the middle, off of Schneider's glove. Remy was running towards second base, and that is going to be a 2-out base hit for Mateo Zunica. Coming to the plate now for the Batcats, the second baseman, number 7, Peyton Barnes. So Mateo Zunica has been aboard a lot already this evening, and he is on once again as he takes a lead from first base. Schneider getting his sign is ready. Here comes the first pitch to Barnes. Strike number 1 on the outside corner. Here comes the pitch. Slider grounded to Boston. He fields, fires to Remy at second base in time. And the Batcats are done in the 3rd. No runs on a hit, no Larks errors, and nobody left on base. We are through 3 complete here in game number 2. We are still tied at 0. And we are back here in Great Bend, top of the 4th inning. Jack Wagner back to the mound for the Batcats. Leading off for the Larks will be the designated hitter, number 24, Colin Simpson. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Larks here in the top of the 4th. Here comes the first pitch of the inning from Wagner. In the dirt for ball number 1. Here comes the 1-0 to Simpson. That one is low as well. And it is 2-0. Wagner out of the windup. Here comes the 2-0 to Simpson. Fastball outside, and it is 3-0 here on Colin to begin the 4th inning. So base runners never hurt, and would definitely take one here to lead off the 4th. Here comes the pitch from Wagner. That one is outside as well, and a 4-pitch walk to Colin Simpson to lead off the 4th inning for the Larks. Coming to the plate now for Hayes, the catcher, number 18, Mikey Gangwish. Gangwish 0 for 1, flied to Zuniga in center field. In his first at bat, Simpson leads from first base. Here comes the first pitch to the lefty, Gangwish. Driven out into center field. Zuniga is over to his left, medium depth. Settles under it, makes the play, and there is one away in the 4th. Coming to the plate now for the Larks, the third baseman, number 16, Jacob Boston. There comes the first pitch to Jacob. That one just a bit outside, and it's 1-0. Wagner is ready. Simpson leads from first. Here comes the 1-0. That one stays a little bit up, and it is 2-0 to Boston. And that will trigger a mound visit from head coach Roger Ward. A short visit on the mound from the Batcats head coach as Boston will step back into the box up 2-0 here in the count. One down in the 4th. Simpson leads from first. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed by Boston, and it is 2-1. Here comes the 2-1, and he will fire over and check on Simpson at first, and Colin is back safely. Here comes the pitch from Wagner. Curveball is popped into fairly deep center field. Zuniga is back on the warning track, makes the play, and there are 2 gone in the 4th. Coming to bat for the Larks, the second baseman, number 5, Max Remy. So Colin Simpson drew a leadoff walk to begin the inning, but is still standing over there at first base with 2 down. Here comes the first pitch to Max. That one is high and in, and it's a 1-0. Here comes the 1-0. That fastball misses away, and it is 2-0 to Max. Wagner is set. Here comes the 2-0. Remy swings through that one, and it is 2-1 as Simpson is back safely at first on the pickoff attempt from Fontenot, the catcher. Here comes the 2-1 from Wagner. Popped up on the right side. The second baseman, Barnes, is over. Romero, the first baseman, will make the catch. And the Larks are done in the fourth. No runs, no hits, no Great Bend errors, and the Larks leave one man on base. We are through 3.5 here in game number 2. Still tied at 0. And we're back here in Great Bend, bottom of the fourth inning, coming at you. Dylan Schneider back to the mound for the Larks. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Batcats, leading off the left fielder, number 14, Corrigan Bartlett. Bartlett is 0 for 1 so far in game number 2, struck out swinging in the first. Here comes the first pitch of the inning from Dylan Schneider. Slider fouled off back to the screen. And it is 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 to Bartlett. Fastball fouled off to the screen, and it's quickly 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 from Schneider. Chopper up the middle. Ochoa fields on a couple hops, throws across, not in time. And Bartlett beats out the throw and is aboard with a leadoff single. So Trey takes his time and does not get Bartlett at first base. Coming to the plate now for the Batcats, the first baseman, number 21, Hunter Romero. Bartlett leads from first base. Nobody out here in the fourth. Schneider is ready. Here comes the first pitch. That one is upstairs, and it's 1-0. Here comes the 1-0 to Romero. Strike number 1 on the outside corner, and we are even at 1. The 1-1 from Schneider. Just a bit outside. There goes Bartlett as Romero fouls off the 2-1. And the count is now 2-2 as Corrigan Bartlett returns to first base. Dillon looking for a ground ball here, maybe turn 2. And get the lead runner. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Popped up into shallow right field. Raspberry is in, settles under it, makes the play, and there is one away in the 4th. Coming to the plate now for the Batcats, the right fielder, number 28, Jordan Wilkerson. First pitch is in there for strike number 1 from Schneider. Here comes the 0-1. And he did not go, says the umpire out in the field. And it is 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. That curveball misses away. And there are 2 balls and a strike. So in Hayes, we would have the advantage of having a third umpire to be able to check on that call with. But here in Great Bend, only 2 in play tonight. So the umpire in the field makes the call that he did not go. Anyway, here comes the pitch, fouled up to the left and out of play. And the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Wilkerson. 1 man down. Bartlett leads from first. Schneider is set. Here comes the pitch. Ground ball through the hole, and that is going to be a base hit into left field for Wilkerson, and there are 2 men on with 1 out here in the 4th. Coming to the plate now for the Batcats, the catcher, number 11, Brennan Fontenot. Here comes the first pitch from Schneider. That one is just off the plate, and it is 1-0. Dillon is set. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. And he will check on Bartlett at second base. Here comes the 1-0. Strike number 1 on the outer half. Schneider is set. Here comes the 1-1 from Dillon. Drilled to the gap in right center. That is over Raspberry. All the way to the wall. Bartlett is in. Here comes Wilkerson, and that is a 2 RBI double for Brennan Fontenot, and it's 2-0. Batcats here in the bottom of the 4th. Coming to the plate now for the Batcats, the designated hitter, number 10, Brooks Asher. Here comes the first pitch from Schneider. Broken bat into the infield grass, picked up by Remy. Throw to first base in time, and there are 2 down here in the 4th as Fontenot advances to third base. Coming to the plate now for the Batcats, the third baseman, Dawson Pomeroy. So here in the middle innings of game number 2 tonight, we see a same old, same old. The opponents are hitting with runners in scoring position, and the Larks continue to strand runners. Has them down 2-0. Here comes the first pitch from Schneider. Strike number 1. On the outside corner, the Larks offense is going to have to come alive sooner or later, or they are going to keep dropping close games. Here comes the pitch outside, and it's 1-1. Or, yeah, 1-1. Schneider is set. Here comes the 1-1. Curveball inside, and there are 2 balls and a strike. There comes the 2-1. Swung on and missed by Pomeroy, and the count is even at 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 from Schneider. Popped up to Boston at third in foul territory. He ranges over, makes the play, and the inning is over for the Batcats in the bottom of the 4th. They scored 2 runs on 3 hits, no Larks errors, and 1 man left on base. We are through 4 here in game number 2. Batcats on top 2-0. And we are back here in Great Bend, top of the 5th inning. Jack Wagner back to the mound for the Batcats. 8-9-1 due up for the Larks. Jace Selzer will lead it off for Hayes. Here comes the first pitch of the inning. Ground ball foul to the first baseman, and it is 0-1. Larks again looking for offense as the goose egg is still on the board into the 5th inning. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Selzer. Pops it foul out of play, and it is 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 from Wagner. Fastball misses away, and there's a ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 as well is outside. And Selzer has even the count at 2. Here comes the pitch from Wagner, who is working quickly here in the 5th. Just foul off the end of the bat, and we will do it again at 2-2. Here comes the 2-2 again. Upstairs, and there are 3 balls and 2 strikes. So a good at bat by Selzer to work it full after falling behind 0-2. Here comes the payoff pitch from Wagner. Lines it into left field. That's a lead-off single for Jay Selzer. And there's 1 on here for the Larks in the 5th. A good at bat by Jace. Reach out and poke that outside fastball into left field. Coming to the plate now for the Larks, the shortstop number 2, Trey Ochoa. Seltzer leads from first base. Wagner gets his sign, is set, and delivers to the lefty Ochoa. Strike number 1 over the outside corner. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed, and it is quickly 0-2. Ochoa is ready, so is Wagner. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Outside. And there's a ball and 2 strikes. Seltzer leads from first. Here comes the pitch. Curveball upstairs, and it's even at 2. So the Larks have put together a couple of pretty good plate appearances here to lead the 5th, lead off the 5th. Seltzer on first. Ochoa looking to get on himself. Here comes the 2-2 from Jack Wagner. Strike 3 called on the outside corner. And Ochoa is down on strikes for the first out of the inning. Will bring to the plate the top of the Larks batting order, center fielder number 4, Keone Givens. Givens digs in on the right side. Wagner is set. Here comes the first pitch. Givens bloops it over the second baseman. That's going to be down for a base hit into right field. And Keone is 3 for 3. So far here in game number 2, Larks have runners on first and second base with 1 out in the 5th. Coming to the plate for Hayes, the left fielder number 26, Clayton Harp. Harp is 0 for 2 so far here in game number 2. As the Larks will have another at bat with runners in scoring position. They are 0 for 4 so far in game number 2. Here comes the first pitch. Strike number 1 on the outside corner. Here comes the 0-1 to Clayton. Line drive into left field. That's going to be a base hit. Selzer will advance to third, and that will be it. The bases are loaded here for the Larks in the top of the 5th inning with 1 man out. So 3 singles here for Hayes in the 5th, and they have him loaded up. That will bring out Roger Ward for a meeting on the mound with Jack Wagner and the rest of the infield. they will make the change, the Batcats. So Jack Wagner is done. He goes 4 1/3. No runs so far, but he is responsible for all 3 men on base for the Larks. Not quite sure right now who the new pitcher is for the Batcats. As soon as we will find out, we will let you know as he warms up. We will take a break and be right back here in Great Bend. And we're back here in Great Bend. New pitcher for the Batcats will be number 13, Alejandro Trejo, excuse me, as he will replace Jack Wagner on the mound. Larks are threatening here in the 5th. Seltzer leads from first, Givens from second, and Harp from first. Bases are loaded, all 3 singled here in the 5th. Clayton Raspberry will be the man at the plate trying to get the Larks on the board. Here comes the first pitch of the night from Trejo. Curveball just misses. Must have been up, and it is 1-0. Here comes the 1-0 to Raspberry. Ground ball, foul. And it is even at a ball and a strike. Here comes the 1-1 to Clayton. That one is a curveball that stays away, and it is 2-1. Colin Simpson awaits on deck for the Larks. Trejo out of the windup delivers the 2-1 to Raspberry. That one is outside, and it is 3-1 on Raspberry. So nowhere to put a Larks base runner for Trejo as they are full. Raspberry looking for his pitch in one spot and one spot only. Here comes the 3-1. Popped up to the left, and that one will get out of play. And the count is full. Here comes the payoff pitch, and Trejo will call for time. So he is back on in the windup. Here comes the payoff pitch to Clayton Raspberry. Drilled right over the first baseman on a bat hop. In comes Seltzer. In comes Given. Hart making his way to third. Raspberry will round first into second base with a 2 RBI double. And the Larks have tied this one at 2 here in the 5th inning. So a little bit of good fortune there for the Larks as the ball takes a bad hop on the dirt, bounces over the first baseman Romero, but Raspberry and the Larks will take it as they tie the game at 2. Colin Simpson steps to the plate. Raspberry at second. Harp at third. 2-2. Here comes the first pitch from Trejo. Ground ball, foul down the right side. And it is 0-1 on Simpson. Colin 0 for 1 so far in game number 2. He flied out to the right fielder, Wilkerson, and walked. Here comes the pitch. Flied out to right field. That is deep. Wilkerson will make his way back, make the play. Here comes Clayton Harp, who will tag and score. And on the sac fly by Colin Simpson, the Larks are on top 3-2 here in the 5th inning. So Harp comes in to score. Raspberry tags from second and advances to third. So 2 outs. The batter will be Mikey Gangwish. Here comes the first pitch from Trejo. That one is high, and it is 1-0. Here comes the 1-0 to Mikey. That off-speed pitch is outside, and it is 2-0. So Wagner's final line, he goes 4 1/3, gives up 5 hits, all 3 runs, walks 2, and strikes out 2. Here comes the 2-0 in the dirt. A nice block by Fontenot to keep a run off the board for the Larks, and it is 3-0 to the Larks catcher, Gangwish. There comes the 3-0 to Gangwish. He takes the 3-0 in there for strike number 1. Here comes the pitch from Alejandro Trejo. Popped up to the right. First baseman Romero is over to the right side. He will run out of room as the ball gets out of play, and the count is full. Clayton Raspberry leads from third. Here comes the payoff pitch from Trejo to Gangwish. Popped up to the left, and that one will also make its way out of play. And we will do it again at 3-2. Here comes the payoff pitch once again. Gangwish lines it into center field. That one will get down in front of Zuniga, and that is an RBI single for Mikey Gangwish. Clayton Raspberry comes home to score, and the Larks extend their lead. It's 4-2 here in the 5th. A very nice at-bat by Gangwish. Mikey leads from first base now. Jacob Boston, the batter, against Trejo. 4-2 Larks. Here comes the first pitch. Fouled up and out of play to the right, and it is 0-1. Trejo will check on Gangwish. Spin and throw to first. Mikey is back safely. Here comes the 0-1 to Boston. That one goes behind Jacob all the way to the screen, and Gangwish will advance to second base on the wild pitch. Count moves to 1-1. Catcher Fontenot out to have a quick word with Trejo. Boston digs back in. The count is 1-1. Mikey Gangwish leads from second base. 4 runs already across for the Larks here in the 5th inning. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. That one almost hits Boston again, and it is 2-1. Trejo gets his sign from Fontenot is set. Here comes the 2-1 to Boston. Ground ball through the left side into left field. Gangwish will be held at third base. And the Larks keep the line moving here in the 5th inning. Runners are now on the corners. The Larks will bat around here in the 5th inning as Roger Ward is out for another mound visit here in the 5th inning. And that will be it for Alejandro Trejo. New pitcher for the Batcats will be number 33, Alex Ruxlow, a junior left-hander out of Fort Hays State University. So as he makes his way to the mound to warm up, we will step aside and be right back here in Great Bend. And we are back. The new pitcher for the Batcats is not Alex Ruxlow. It is Austin Pritchard, another left-hander who delivers to Max Remy, and it is high and away. It's 1-0. Mikey Gangwish leads from third. The pitch to Remy is fouled out of play to the right, and it is 1-1. Gangwish leads from third. Boston from first. 2 outs here in the 5th. 4 men already in for the Larks. Here comes the 1-1 to Max Remy. Line drive up the middle into center field. That's a base hit. In comes Gangwish. He will score easily. On his way to third is Jacob Boston. An RBI single for Max Remy. And the Larks have tallied 5 here in the 5th. Now on top 5-2. A big inning for the Larks as runners will remain on the corners. Jay Selzer will step to the plate, the 10th man to bat. That fastball misses, and it is 1-0. The 1-0 to Selzer. That one is drilled into center field. Zuniga is over. He makes the play, and the side is finally retired for the Larks in the 5th. They score 5 runs on 6 hits. No Great Bend errors, and they leave 2 men on base. We are through 4.5 here in game number 2. Larks on top 5-2. And we're back here, bottom of the 5th inning. Dylan Schneider makes his way back to the mound for Hayes. 9-1-2 for the Batcats, leading off the shortstop, number 23, Brandon Bacher. So a final from Dodge City in game number 1. The A's take down the BJ's Liberal 4-1. So their series is evened at 1-1. Dodge City pulled level with the Larks in the standings, but the Larks get a little help from the A's and do not lose any ground. As the first pitch from Schneider is inside for a ball, and the second pitch is lined into center field. And the leadoff man for the Batcats is aboard here in the 5th. Coming to the plate now for Great Bend, the leadoff hitter, or the top of the batting order, excuse me, center fielder Mateo Zunica. Bacher will lead from first against Schneider. Here comes the first pitch. Strike number 1 on the outside corner. And it is 0-1. Here comes the pitch. That one is a little too far outside. And there's a ball and a strike. Here comes the pitch from Dylan. Time is called by Zunica. Here comes the 1-1 from Dylan Schneider. That one is outside for a ball. The throw from Gangwish to first. Bacher is back safely. Count is 2-1. Schneider looking for a shutdown inning here in the 5th as the Larks struck for 5 and gave Dylan a lead. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Slider misses low, and it is 3-1. So the last inning or two, it's been tough to figure out what the zone is here from home plate umpire. He's not. The outside has been a mystery here so far, and that one doesn't catch the outside either, and that's a walk to Zunica. So started out consistent given the outside, but he has started to become a little erratic on the outside edge, and that will be it for Dylan Schneider as pitching coach Keith Harper to the mound will make the change. He will signal the righty out of the bullpen, and it will be Chad Smith out of the pen. So as he makes his way on and warms up, we will step aside and be right back here in Great Bend. And we're back in Great Bend. Bottom of the 5th inning, Larks on top 5-2, but the Batcats are making some noise here in the inning. The first 2 men are on. Chad Smith replaces Dylan Schneider on the mound, a right-handed sidearmer from the University of New Mexico. He will face Peyton Barnes, the second baseman for the Batcats. Nobody out. Gets a sign from Gangwish. Here comes the first pitch of the evening from Smith. And he will step off. And he's going to stare right at Bacher at second base for a moment. Not sure what's going on back there. And he is set once again. Here comes the first pitch from Smith. Strike number 1 on the outside corner. And again, that one looks like it is quite a ways outside, but Smith gets the call. Fortunately, 0-1 to Barnes, who looks as if he is going to drop down a bunt. He squares again, bunts that one foul, and it is 0-2. So now Peyton Barnes will probably not attempt to bunt here with 2 strikes. First out of the inning would be very big here for Smith. Here comes the pitch to Barnes. Swing and a miss. And Chad Smith strikes out Peyton Barnes, and there is 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. A big first out for Chad there. Now puts the inning-ending double play into effect as the left fielder Corrigan Bartlett makes his way to the plate. 2 men on, 1 man out for the Batcats. Here comes the first pitch from Smith. Inside, and it's 1-0. Chad is ready. Here comes the 1-0 to Bartlett. Ground ball foul past third base, and it is 1-1. Here comes the 1-1. Off speed. Swung on in, fouled into the glove of Gangwish by Bartlett, and there is a ball and 2 strikes. Comes the 1-2 from Smith. Foul ball to the right, out of play. And we will hang tight at 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 again to Bartlett. Curveball, strike 3 called, and the throw down gets away from Selzer and into the field as the throw is not in time, and that is a run for Great Bend. I don't know why Mikey would even bother throwing down to first base in that circumstance, and that just burns the Larks there as Great Bend adds a run, and just not very smart baseball by the Larks, and we've seen it a few times in the last couple games, just not making smart plays and it's coming back to hurt him. So it's a strikeout for Chad Smith. There are 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th, but a run comes to score, and the other run is at third base. So 5-3 here with 2 down. The hitter is Hunter Romero, the first baseman. It's 1-0. That one is fouled off, and the count is even at a ball and a strike. Just kind of got a situational 2 outs with runners on first and second. Seems not too bad after Smith comes in to get the strikeout. Not quite sure why Gangwish wanted to make the throw down to first, and it leads to a Great Bend run. So that one is fouled off, just misses a car driving by the stadium, and it is 1-2. The 1-2 from Smith. Strike 3 called, and that is the inning. So Chad Smith comes in and strikes out the side. However, Great Bend gets a run on I believe the throwing error from Mikey Gangwish, and that's how the Batcats manufacture a run in the 5th. We are through 5 here in game number 2. Larks still on top, 5-3. And we are back here in Great Bend, top of the 6th inning. 9-1-2 due up for the Larks. Trey Ochoa will lead it off. Austin Pritchard, the lefty, back to the mound for the Batcats. Larks holding on to a 5-3 lead. Here comes the first pitch of the inning. Ochoa takes strike number 1 from Pritchard. The 0-1 is in there for a strike, and it is quickly 0-2 on the Larks' leadoff hitter, Ochoa. That one is low and in the dirt. And there's a ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the pitch. Upstairs. And Ochoa works the count even at 2-2. Here comes the 2-2. He lays off the off-speed pitch away. And Trey works the count full here to lead off the 6th inning. So a good at-bat by Ochoa as he works himself back into the count. Here comes the payoff pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop, Bacher. He fields, throws in time, and there's one away in the top of the 6th. Coming to the plate now for the Larks, the top of the batting order, the center fielder, number 4, Keone Givens. The first pitch is in there for strike number 1. Keone is 3 for 3 so far here in game number 2 as the second pitch is high and away. And that evens the count at 1. Givens looking to add to his good night at the plate here in game number 2. Pritchard is set. Here comes the 1-1. Swings through the low fastball. And there's a ball and 2 strikes. Here comes the 1-2 to Givens. That one is low. And the count is even at 2-2. The 2-2 from Pritchard. Givens fouls it up and out of play to the right, and we will do it again at 2-2. Keone hanging tough in there. 2-2 count. Here comes the pitch from Austin Pritchard. Curveball stays up and out, and the count is full. Here comes the payoff pitch. Givens takes low, and that is a one-out walk for the Larks center fielder. A good at bat by Keone, and he is aboard for the 4th time here in game number 2. Coming to the plate now for the Larks, the left fielder, number 26, Clayton Harp. Harp singled in his last at bat in the 5th. The first pitch from Pritchard is in there for strike number 1. Here comes the 0-1 to Harp. And Pritchard will check Givens at first base, as well as being 3 for 3. Givens has stolen 2 bags here in game number 2 as he leads from first. Here comes the pitch to Harp. Lines it into left field. That's a base hit. And Keone Givens will advance to second base. So Clayton Harp now 2 for 4 here in game number 2. Coming to the plate for the Larks will be the right fielder, number 15, Clayton Raspberry. Raspberry doubled home a pair in the 5-run 5th inning. And he will bat once again with a runner in scoring position. Lefty-lefty matchup with Austin Pritchard. Here comes the first pitch. Curveball, strike number 1. The 0-1 to Clayton. Ground ball, and it is fouled back. And it is quickly 0-2. Raspberry digs back in. Here comes the 0-2 pitch from Pritchard. There goes Givens. It's a double steal. That one is strike 3. And the home Raspberry just points out where the pitch was, and the home plate umpire tosses him from the game. That is a very quick ejection. And Raspberry has a point. The home plate umpire has been calling pitches that are 4 to 6 inches outside all night, and that's a very quick trigger from the umpire in a collegiate summer game. So I personally don't agree with the home plate umpire on the ejection, as well as a lot of the strike calls here tonight. So that is a strikeout for Raspberry. Givens and Harp, a delayed double steal. So there will be runners on second and third base, or second and third with 2 outs. Colin Simpson will be the batter. First pitch is outside, and it's ball 1. So after he called the strike on Raspberry, that one's a ball. Go figure. 1-0 to Simpson. Here comes the pitch from Pritchard. Fouled straight back, and it's 1-1. I don't even know that Clayton's. Don't know what he just dug a line in the dirt with his bat where the pitch was, and that was an immediate ejection. So here comes the 1-1, and Clayton had a point. It was outside as Simpson fouls that one off, and it is 1-2. Couple runners in scoring position for the Larks. Here comes the 1-2. Collin fouls it up and out of play to the left, and he will hang tight at 1-2. Here comes the 1-2 again from Pritchard. Ground ball into right field. That's a base hit. In comes Givens. Here comes Harp around third. He will score easily, and that is a 2 RBI single for Colin Simpson, and the Larks extend their lead. It is 7-3 here in the top of the 6th. So Colin Simpson comes through, and the Larks are up by 4 now in the 6th. Mikey Gangwish will come to the plate now with Simpson on first base. 2 outs in the 6th inning. Lefty-lefty matchup between Pritchard and Gangwish. Here comes the first pitch, swung on and missed by Mikey, and it's 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 to Gangwish in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Here comes the 1-1 from Pritchard. Ground ball to the second baseman Barnes. He fields, throws to first in time, and that is the inning. However, the Larks pick up a couple insurance runs. They score 2 on 2 hits, no Great Bend errors, and they leave 1 man on base. We are through 5.5 here in game number 2. Larks on top, 7-3. And we are back here, bottom of the 6th inning. Larks on top, 7-3. Chad Smith Back to the mound for the Larks. Leading off for the Batcats will be the right fielder, number 28, Jordan Wilkerson. Here comes the first pitch of the inning from Smith. Swung on and missed. And it is 0-1. Here comes the 0-1 from Smith. Swung on and missed again. And it is 0-2, so Great Bend so far tonight having a lot of trouble figuring out Chad Smith on the mound. Here comes the 0-2 to Wilkerson. And now the home plate umpire doesn't give Smith the call on the outside that he's been given all night. So he is erratic to say the least back there. Here comes the 1-2, swung on and missed, and there goes Wilkerson, one away here in the sixth. Chad Smith has faced 4 batters, and he has struck out all of them. So he is on so far tonight. Coming to the plate, the catcher, number 11, Brennan Fontenot. Here comes the first pitch from Chad Smith. And I don't know where that missed, but it is ball 1. Your guess is as good as mine trying to figure out the zone here in the 6th inning. We are right behind the plate. Here comes the 1-0. Fouled off, and it's 1-1. Smith gets his sign from Gangwish. Here comes the 1-1 to Fontenot. Into left field. Harp is over. He makes the play, and there are 2 down in the bottom of the 6th inning. Coming to the plate now for the Batcats, the designated hitter, number 10, Brooks Asher. Asher steps in on the right side. Smith is ready. Here comes the first pitch. Strike number 1. Right down the middle on the off-speed pitch from Smith. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss, and it is quickly 0-2. Chad is ready, the 0-2. Swung on and missed. That is the inning. Chad Smith has come on and struck out 5 of the 6 batters he has faced this evening, and we are through 6 innings here in game number 2. Larks on top 7-3. And we're back top of the 7th inning. Larks on top 7-3. Austin Pritchard returns to the mound for the Batcats. Jacob Boston leads it off for the Larks. Here comes the first pitch of the inning. Lined, foul and out of play onto the road. And it's 0-1. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss at the high curveball. And it's quickly 0-2 on Jacob. Here it comes from Austin Pritchard. Fouled out of play to the right once again. And we will do it again at 0-2. Curveball grounded off the plate. Fair. Third baseman Pomeroy charges. Fields throws in time. And there's one away in the top of the 7th. Coming to the plate now for the Larks, the second baseman, number 5, Max Remy. Remy singled in a run last inning. Or excuse me, in the 5th inning. Here comes the first pitch from Pritchard. Popped it sky high in the infield. Third baseman and the shortstop are in. Way in. Pomeroy makes his way all the way in between the mound and the plate to retire Remy. And there are 2 away in the 7th. See, first 2 pitches to Selzer miss. It's 2-0. Here comes the 2-0 from Pritchard. It is 3-0 on a ball missing high. Pritchard back to the mound is set. Here comes the 3-0 to Jace Selzer. Has the take sign and takes strike 1 right down the middle. Here comes the 3-1. Selzer fouls it straight back, and the count is full. Here comes the payoff pitch to Jace. Ground ball to the second baseman Barnes. He charges Fields. Throws to Romero in time, and that is the inning. Larks go 1-2-3 in the top of the 7th. We move to the bottom half. Larks on top 7-3. And we are back here in Great Bend. Chad Smith and the Larks looking to close this one out and salvage a split of the doubleheader. Leading off for the Batcats will be the third baseman, number 3, Dawson Pomeroy. So Smith has thrown 2 innings tonight. He has struck out 5 of 6. The other out, a fly ball to Harp in left, so 2 perfect innings for Chad Smith. Here comes the first pitch to Pomeroy, strike number 1. Here comes the 0-1 from Chad. Fouled back to the screen, and it's quickly 0-2. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Pomeroy. Swing and a miss. That is 6 of 7. Struck out for Chad Smith, and there's 1 away in the 7th. So Brandon Bacher will make his way to the plate, so now Chad Smith is taking his turn, being untouchable for the Larks in the bullpen, as the first pitch on Bacher misses for a ball. Last few games it's been Tyler Starks, and Chad Smith wanted to turn. Here comes the 1-0. Strike number 1, and the count is even. Here comes the 1-1. Ground ball to the left side. Boston Field spins, fires in time. A nice play by Jacob Boston, and there are 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Coming to the plate now for the Batcats, the top of the batting order, and number 8, Mateo Zuniga. Here comes the first pitch from Smith. Swung on and missed. And it's 0-1.
Let's see. Wagner gave up 3 runs, 3 hits. It would have been tied.
And the count is 1-1 on Zuniga. Here comes the pitch from Smith. That one misses as well, and there are 2 balls and a strike. Here comes the pitch from Smith. Popped foul over the press box, and there are 2 balls and 2 strikes, and there is another vehicle casualty. That's the 3rd one of the evening. Out back behind us, they're in the parking lot. 2-2 count, 2 outs to Mateo Zuniga. Chad Smith looking to shut the door and salvage the doubleheader split for the Larks. He has been excellent so far tonight. He has struck out 6 of 8. Here comes the 2-2. Make it 7 of 9, and that is the ball game. Larks win game number 2, 7-3 over the Batcats of Great Bend, and salvage the doubleheader split. The win moves the Larks to 19-9 overall, 19-8 in the Jayhawk League, where they will not lose a game on Liberal thanks to the win in Game 1 from Dodge City. Winning pitcher in Game number 2 for the Larks is Dylan Schneider. He goes 4 innings, gives up 5 hits, 1 run. He walks 1 and strikes out 3. Loser tonight for the Batcats in game number 2 is Jack Wagner. He goes 4 1/3, gives up 5 hits, 3 runs, walks 2, and strikes out 2. Larks will be back in action tomorrow night. Back at home at Larks Park for the 4th and final game of this 4-game set with the Batcats as Hayes looks for the series win. Once again, the Larks win game number 2, 7-3 over Great Bend, and they salvage the doubleheader split. We hope everybody back in Hayes and wherever you are listening from has a good rest of the evening. We will be, actually it will be an Eagle Communications broadcast tomorrow night for the final game, so make sure to log into hayespost.com for coverage of tomorrow's game. We will see you all tomorrow in Hayes. It is a 7 p.m. start time from there tomorrow, and good night from Great Bend.